So, if you saw my previous video, 5 great things about Fallout 4, I mentioned 5 great things about the game, as the title is saying. Well, in this video we're going to do the exact opposite. We're going to list 5 bad things about Fallout 4. How's it going, guys? It's your boy Tipadox, and if you haven't seen my previous video, you can click the link below. I will probably continue with this series depending on how well it does. So just sit back and enjoy the rest of the video. So at number 1 I put caps and trading system. So in Fallout 4, if you've never played a Fallout game before, the money that you are spending is called caps, and like any other game, you need money to buy things like armor and ammo. Well, that's not the case in Fallout 4, at least not for me. I've been grinding as hell to get the armor I'm using and weapons that I'm using. There's just one little problem. I get around 8 to 15 caps per enemy, which is not a lot of money. Since ammo, armor, and material is expensive as hell, I've put down almost 30 plus hours into the game, and I have like maybe 1 or 2,000 caps. And you can't really go around and buy all the things you need. So I find it more worth my time finding my stim packs and my ammo and armor and material. It just doesn't seem to, like, it's just not worth it to go around and buy everything. Well, the trade system is also a little bit confusing if you're new to the game, since you need to press the things you want to buy and then accept the trade, which I think is a little bit annoying and frustrating. I'm pressing the things I want to buy, so why would I also need to accept the offer after I'm done? Well, maybe hardcore Fallout gamers out there find this fairly easy since you're used to it, but have this in mind, this video is for the new or casual players. At number 2, I put the dialogue system. I actually like the dialogue system and that your protagonist has a voice, but I don't like the outcomes, since basically everything ends up in the same way. You fail something in the dialogue, you can reset or try again. In some cases, you can more or less just repeat everything until it goes the way you wanted it to. Even though I like that our protagonist has a voice, it does not hide the fact that the dialogue system is poorly made. They could at least put down more time into that feature, but as I've said and countless others, they cannot improve something without failing a couple of times before nothing. Nothing is perfect when you try it for the first time, and we can excuse them. Just this one time. Number 3, the building system, like the base building system. So I love the base building feature since I'm a big nerd of building my own bases, houses, or maps. I've loved that since Forge was introduced in Halo 3. And I wish a lot more games would have that feature, but it should work perfectly and not be so complicated, which it is in Fallout 4. Some items don't stick the way you want them to, which ends up in you redoing all of your hard work because you need to add you needed to add a floor all along. But once you get a hang of it, it's pretty easy. But why so complicated in the beginning? Some items hover over the ground, which is also very annoying. And if you are like me, or who just hates when things aren't symmetrical or fits perfect, you just end up redoing everything until it's perfect, which it will never be. There's also a limit on how much you can build in one area, which I'm not a big fan of. I should be allowed to have a skyscraper base or a huge tree house if I wanted to, but luckily you can fix that easily in the console if you play on the PC. Number 4. Okay, if you bring I need to bring this up, the bugs and the glitches. I don't really thought about bringing this up since I've never had any problems with glitches before in almost any game that I own. But I've been looking around and gathering information on what kind of glitches there is. So you have the upside down Pip-Boy, which I just think looks funny and don't really see any problems with, but some people do. Then there's the player teleports when using the VAT system, and so on. Since I have no experience with these problems, I don't really go so much in depth on these problems. If you want to know more about this, I suggest you go to another channel that has had this one of those problems. At number 5, the loading screens. I don't really get bothered by that, but a lot of people do. And yes, if you look at other games out there who has almost or even bigger world than Fallout 4, and they don't really have long loading screens, well, if you're like me and just enjoy a good game and don't really care about the loading screens, you're not gonna have a problem with this. But yes, they should have moved on to a better engine. They can't stick to the same engine they made Skyrim on. And that game came out almost 3 or 4 years ago. Well, at least the loading screens aren't as long as they are in Skyrim, which is a big plus. This is basically all the 5 bad things I could find with Fallout 4. Since I haven't played Fallout 3, I couldn't really find Fallout 4, so very disappointing. Yes, of course, the modding community might be frustrating about some things in Fallout 4, and yes, some things aren't working perfectly. Well, I can't really, I don't have, since I've never been in that scene in Fallout 4 or in any Fallout game, I can't really bother to hate on it, since it's basically not my problem. But I can agree there's a lot of things that is wrong with this game that they need to be fixed, but there isn't. Well, I'm sorry that it cut out there. I was about to say something I couldn't remember. I needed to cut that out because I was just rambling on random stuff. But if you're one of those people who needs to have a perfect made game and modding, then sorry, you will probably never find a very, very good game. But if you're new here, you can subscribe down below, you can leave a like as well. I've already decided on what next episode will be on, but thank you for watching, and as always, this was your boy Tippedox. I'll see you guys later. Peace out.